Your drawer is full of things you don't use. A bread maker you bought 5 years ago, a blender that sits dusty on the shelf, a pile of cables you can't identify. You know you should throw them away, but every time you reach for the trash, something stops you. So you rationalize, maybe you'll need it someday. Maybe it will work if you just fix it. Maybe you'll actually start using it. But the truth is, you're not afraid of losing the object. You're afraid of losing what it represents. The version of yourself who would use it. The time and money you already spent. The future you imagined when you bought it. If you're struggling with unused possessions, you're not alone. And it's not a character flaw. It's a psychological phenomenon called loss aversion. And it's deeply rooted in how your brain is wired. Here's what happens. When you own something, your brain labels it as part of your identity. It's not just a blender anymore. It's your blender. And losing it feels like losing a part of yourself. This is called the endowment effect. Simply owning something makes you value it more than someone else would. You'd pay more to keep it than someone would pay to buy it from you. But there's another force at play. It's called the sunk cost fallacy. You bought that bread maker for $300. You never use it. But throwing it away feels like admitting you wasted $300. So you keep it, just in case, even though logically you know the money is already gone. Whether you keep the blender or throw it away, that $300 is not coming back. And then there's the guilt. Throwing away something that still works feels morally wrong. What if someone else could use it? What if I'm being wasteful? What if I regret this later? So you rationalize again. I'll donate it. I'll sell it online. I'll give it to someone. These are noble intentions. But weeks pass, months pass, and the item still sits in your closet. This loop is called procrastination by proxy. You convince yourself you'll deal with it later. You feel better because you've told yourself a story, but you're just transferring the problem to future you. And future you will do the exact same thing. Neuroscientists have studied this phenomenon extensively. When you own something, the part of your brain associated with self-identity activates. This is why letting it go feels like loss. When you think about discarding a possession, your brain's pain centers activate. Your insula and anterior cingulate cortex light up, the same regions that respond to physical pain. In one famous study, researchers found that people experienced measurable pain signals when asked to give away possessions they owned. The longer they owned the item, the stronger the pain signal. This isn't weakness. This isn't laziness. This is neurobiology. Your brain is literally wired to avoid loss. This survival mechanism kept our ancestors alive. Losing resources meant death. But here's the problem. This mechanism worked great when resources were scarce. Now we live in abundance. We have too much. And our ancient brain can't tell the difference between losing a tool that means survival and losing a kitchen gadget you never use. There are different types of clinging. First, there's aspirational clinging. You keep the yoga mat because you're going to start exercising. You keep the fancy cookbook because you're going to become a chef. Then there's sentimental clinging. These items hold memories. That old sweater from an ex-partner, your childhood school uniform. These objects feel like they contain pieces of your history. And then there's anxiety clinging. You keep something just in case you need it, just in case it becomes useful, just in case. The uncertainty feels safer than the finality of throwing it away. Most of us have all three: a little aspiration, a little sentimentality, a lot of just-in-case anxiety, and they all add up. The drawer gets fuller, the closet gets tighter, the storage unit gets more expensive. And here's what gets overlooked. This clinging costs you. Not just money for storage, it costs you mental energy. Every unused item is a tiny failure sitting in your space. Psychologists call this decision fatigue. Every object in your space is a small decision waiting to be made. Should I keep this? Should I donate it? Should I sell it? These tiny decisions drain your mental resources. Studies show that people with cluttered spaces have higher cortisol levels. Cortisol is the stress hormone. You're literally stressed by the objects in your home. Your clutter is literally making you sick. Your sleep gets worse. Your anxiety increases. Your ability to focus deteriorates. And all because your brain is processing the visual overload of unused possessions. But here's the hopeful part. This is all reversible. Clearing your space doesn't just make your home look better. It changes your brain. It reduces anxiety. It increases mental clarity. It's like taking back your mind. So how do you break the cycle? First, understand what you're really afraid of. Is it aspirational? Are you afraid of admitting you'll never be that person? Is it sentimental? Are you afraid of losing the memories? Is it anxiety? Are you afraid of needing it someday? Once you understand the real reason, you can address it. If it's aspirational, you don't need the yoga mat. You need permission to let go of that version of yourself. You're already enough as you are. If it's sentimental, the memory lives in your mind, not in the object. You can let go of the item and keep the memory. In fact, keeping a broken guitar doesn't honor the memories. It just keeps you stuck in the past. If it's anxiety-based, ask yourself honestly, in the last 5 years, did you actually need this item? If the answer is no, you probably won't need it in the next 5 years. There's a simple rule. If it's broken and you haven't fixed it in a year, you won't. If it's out of style and you haven't worn it in 2 years, you won't. If it's unused and you haven't touched it in 6 months, you won't. And here's the most important rule. You don't need permission to let it go. You don't need to sell it or donate it to feel justified. Sometimes the most honest thing is to acknowledge it's going to the trash. Once you let go of the first item, something shifts. You realize the world didn't end. You didn't regret it. The sky didn't fall. You just freed up space. Physical space, mental space, emotional space. And with that momentum, it gets easier. The second item is easier than the first. The 10th item is easier than the second. You realize your brain was lying to you. The attachments were stories, not truth. As the clutter fades, something remarkable happens. Your sleep improves, your anxiety drops, your focus sharpens, your creativity returns. You feel lighter in your body and clearer in your mind. You start choosing differently when you buy, because now you know the cost, not just the price tag, but the mental cost of ownership. You ask before buying, do I need this? Will I actually use this? Am I buying the object or the fantasy? Your home becomes a reflection of who you actually are, not who you hope to be or who you used to be. And that's profoundly freeing. And you realize something profound. The things that made you happiest were never the possessions. They were the memories, the relationships, the experiences, the space to breathe and think and create. So here's what I want you to know. If you're struggling with clinging to possessions, you're not broken. Your brain is just trying to protect you using ancient survival strategies. And now you understand that. With that understanding comes choice. You can keep the clutter, or you can claim the freedom. You can stay attached to possessions that don't serve you, or you can let go and discover who you become without them. You don't have to let go of everything, but let go of what's holding you back. Start with one item, just one, and feel what becomes possible when you reclaim that space. Your space is yours. Your mind is yours. Your future is yours. And it starts by letting go of what no longer serves you. You've got this.